Welcome to Sports Paws. Coming up, women's soccer wraps up a successful non-conference schedule and hosts defending champion Rider for their first MAC game.
MJ men's soccer's been quite the disappointment so far, winless. We're going to fill you in on the most recent heartbreaking loss to Yale.
Field hockey looks to halt a recent 2-game skid at home against Maine. Hey, John Alba, you watching? Those Black Bears look pretty good on Thursday.
Volleyball begins their MAC season in Western New York, looking for their first conference win in nearly 2 years. Did a strong start propel them to victory? All that and more coming up on Sports Paws. Good evening and welcome to Sports Paws. I'm Morey Hershgordon.
And I'm MJ Baird. We're going to jump right into some action, Morey. A big showdown on the QU soccer field. Let's check out that highlight. The Quinnipiac Bobcats hosted the Bronx of Rider for their first MAC game of the year. Let's head out to the field to check out some highlights. Early in the first half, Quinnipiac's number 7, Jess Gargan's going to get a favorable bounce and dribble down the field. She's going to beat one defender. She's going to take a shot. Rebound comes right to Nadia Gill, but that shot is once again saved by Rider goalie. We are here at 0-0. 15 minutes into the first half now, Quinnipiac's Nadia Gill is going to pass to Jess Gargan, who's going to take a shot from way outside that's going to make a great save by the Rider goalie. 7 minutes remaining in the first half now. Rider's number 19, Caroline Healy, is going to take a shot from just outside the box, and that goes in for a goal. Rider leads 1-0. 10 minutes into the second half now, Rider's number 21, Courtney Cunningham, passes middle to number 6, Sam Pichinich. She scores. Rider leads 2-0. Late in the second half now, Quinnipiac's Amanda Baroka is going to pass into the box, take an unfortunate bounce off Jessica Janikowski, and Rider will clear that out. Rider wins 2-0. Let's go to Nadia Gill for her reaction after the game.
I know we've lost 2 games. It's going to be more of a mental battle to get back into it, but we just have to work each unit their own, the defense, the midfield, and the strikers. Strikers finishing, defense clearing, midfielders keeping control of the game. And again, that's something we'll definitely work on in practice, and we'll have to build up mentally. I think physically we're prepared. We played well. It's not like we had a bad game. It's more of a mental aspect now, knowing that we've lost 2 games, and we'll definitely come back stronger and better in our next game.
After the game, Q30 Sports' own Sierra Goodwill and John Franklin broke down the loss. Let's see what they had to say.
Here alongside John Franklin, I'm Sierra Goodwill. Quinnipiac women's soccer loses a heartbreaker today in their conference opener against Rider 2-0. Coming out in the first half, Quinnipiac had offensive control. Bethany May Howard, Rider's goalkeeper, makes some impressive saves. Shots just aren't going in.
Yeah, you know, Jess Gargan, she had a great opportunity early on in the game. She came down the left side, cut right through the middle, wide open opportunity, and puts it right at Bethany May Howard. And on the follow-up, Nadia Gill puts it right at her again. It's like Dave Clark said, you know, these goals are, it's about attitude. These young kids, they got to put the ball in the back of the net. They have to anticipate a follow-up. A goalie's going to drop it. It's going to hit the post. They're going to have the follow-up. There's just these things that young kids aren't learning yet, that they need to break through the system and ultimately put the ball in the back of the net.
Again, coming out in the second half, Quinnipiac, strong start, shots on goal. Rider gets possession, weaves it right through the Quinnipiac defense, puts them up 2-0.
Well, you know, Rider's possession really came through the midfield when Quinnipiac would win 50-50 balls in the air, and then on the second ball, Rider would pick it up and go immediately on a counterattack. This would open up the outside and bring the midfield back into it and cross to the middle, totally spreading out Quinnipiac's defense.
In the presser, Coach Dave Clark talks about leadership. Like you said, it's a young team. What needs to be done?
Well, you know, a new player needs to come up and really assume a leadership role. That's what he said was the difference in this game between them and Rider. Rider really had seniority. They had experience in a conference championship. They had players who were going to come in and they were going to lead a team and say, listen, put your foot on the ball, take it easy, we have an opportunity to win this game. Quinnipiac just doesn't have that with 13 freshmen, 13 new players in the system. They need somebody like a Jess Fontaine to step up in the situation and, you know, lead them and say, listen, take a breather, relax. We're in a big game against a big in-conference team. We could put them away and win this one.
The Bobcats were off to a hot start. Now they're in a rut, 2-game losing streak. They're playing in-conference opponent St. Peter's for the next game. What do they need to do to get back on track?
Well, the real thing that has to finish for the Bobcats is their finishing. They have to be able to put the ball in the back of the net. Like Coach Dave Clark said, these young kids are trying to blast the ball high and have the highlight goal score. But in reality, you want to play the percentage. Put it low. Put it in the back of the net. That's what's going to have to change for the Bobcats moving forward against a much less talented St. Peter's side.
This is a young team. They have a lot of potential, a lot of games left to play. Reporting for Q30 Sports, I'm Sierra Goodwill alongside John Franklin. Have a good one.
Earlier in the week, the team faced in Albany in a non-conference matchup. Let's stay on the soccer field where the Great Danes came to Hamden to face off against the Bobcats. In the first half, Albany's Kiana Ruger is going to come down the left side and cross the ball in. That cross will come to Alexa Schneider, who's going to get ahead on the ball, toss it right over Quinnipiac's goalie. Albany 1-0. Merely 5 minutes into the second half now, and the Great Danes came out flying. Albany's Vivian Vega is going to fake out wide. She's going to cut back in, take a rip. Oh no, that is a fake. Second shot she's going to take, and boom, goes in near side just past Quinnipiac goalie Natalia Grodzki. 2-0 Albany. 9 minutes to play now in the second half. Vivian Vega is going to cross it into Kiana Ruger, who gets by a defender and shoots it into the goal. Albany 3-1. 1 minute left. Kiana Ruger walks by Quinnipiac defenders into the box, shoots over the head of Nadia Grodzki. 4-1 Albany. In the closing seconds now, Quinnipiac, with some ball control, they try to make a pass towards the middle, cross it in. They take a shot. That goes just wide. Final score, Albany 4, Quinnipiac 1.
All right, MJ, let's turn our attention over to the men's side. Despite a winless record so far, head coach Eric DaCosta believes that a tough out-of-conference schedule will pay off come October. Well, his team has faced opponents such as Boston College, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and will face St. John's on Tuesday night. That's the ACC, the AAC, the Big Ten, the Big East, and those are high major conference opponents. He's ran a platoon system so far to see if he can get out a starting roster come MAC play. Let's head over to the soccer field now where they play Holy Cross, a Patriot League opponent, MJ, that the Bobcats should be able to take care of on the Quinnipiac soccer field. The Bobcats have had success as of late. Here early in the first half, it's Matt Villano, tries to make a move on Stevenson Hawkey. No, the boy they call Sunshine kicks it away. A little later, Villano will juke Simon Broshier, the ball into the box. Little past the Holy Cross attack. Tristan Henry, great job to come out. Keep an eye on that, MJ. Tristan Henry comes out of the box quite often. Here, Matt Taylor to Rashawn Dolly. Pass the Crusader into the box. Steve Wright says no. Holy Cross and Quinnipiac tied at 0 at the break. We're going to go into the second half now. Crusaders on the attack. The chip into the box. Like I said, Henry comes out, punches it away originally. Crusaders, though, take advantage. 1-0 on the Nicholas Stitaro goal. A little bit later now, Toby Esch, come on. You cannot do that in the box. Yellow card. Sets up a penalty kick. Bang, easy. Henry dives the wrong way. Holy Cross 2, Quinnipiac, not enough. A little later in the second half, though, Max Rothenbucher puts a little juke on a Holy Cross defender right here. Oh, wait a minute. Cross into the box. Justin Cody, header. Kevin Wright dive. No, wrong. John Diaz goal. Holy Cross would tack on another goal late. Holy Cross wins it 3-1. The Bobcats have yet to find another win. Coach Eric DaCosta was upset with that one. But now, let's jump out to Yale. MJ, are we at Toads?
No, we are not, Morey.
No, we're at Reese Stadium. That's right. Quinnipiac, Yale, crosstown rivals. Quinnipiac had two great performances the past 2 years. Can the gold and the blue pull out the victory here? Rashawn Dolly, a little out past the outstretched foot of Ryan Scheiderman, the Yale goalie, gets on that one. Dolly, again in the box, puts it in right by the 6-yard box. Quinnipiac can't take advantage. They did outshoot the Bulldogs by twice the amount in the game, but nothing converted here. What did I say? Tristan Henry comes out of the box too much. Bang, a little goal for Yale, makes it 1-0. That should never happen with 4 defenders on him. Pouring right off the end of the post in Yale 2, Quinnipiac, nothing. Let's move on into the second half. Eric DaCosta and his squad, like I said, looking to find a victory, but what does DaCosta find? A yellow card. Yale with a penalty, with a card inside the box. Toby Esch puts that one in on net. Bobcats down 2-1 for the second consecutive game. Look at that. 2 things I see there, MJ. I don't see a defender on the far post, and that's a goal near side on the goalie. That should never happen. 20 seconds left in the game. Quinnipiac scores. Yeah, great. Down 3-2. Still results in an L. Coach DaCosta was very upset after the game.
Yeah, I'm very proud of these guys, and A few days ago I sat with you guys and I was pretty candid in my disappointment in them and their response in that game, and to have the type of effort that we had today for 90 full minutes, and I thought we played very well. You know, we're unfortunate to concede some goals there against the run of play, completely against the run of play, but I thought our guys showed tremendous heart, tremendous character, and they showed the pedigree of a team that has the capability to win a championship.
When we return, Quinnipiac women's rugby team faced Dartmouth on Saturday, looking to get back to 500. Hannah Colter sat down with one of its seniors who has just as many talents on the field as she does off.
And Justin Cloutier, the man they call Clooch, joins us in studio to talk a little women's field hockey. One Bobcat in particular etched her name among the all-time greats. Please don't touch that remote. We're coming up.
Welcome to A Sheer Sensation, North Haven's premier cosmetology service, located at 140 Washington Avenue, minutes from Hamden. We offer an array of services from basic cuts and colors to lash extensions and formaldehyde-free keratin treatments. We also provide hair chalk and styling for men. When you spend $60, your Q card will get you 10% off. Call us at 203-239-6477 to make your next appointment at A Sheer Sensation.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike's sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken and cheese for just over $4. Giant cheesesteak subs and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
We are your source for entertainment news.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. Women's rugby hosted the Dartmouth Big Green. Let's jump right into the action. We'll go to Alumni Field for Quinnipiac women's rugby match, hosting the Dartmouth Big Green. Early in the first half now, Dartmouth's number 8, Yasha Dunn, is going to get tackled near the goal line area, and she's going to hand it off to number 7, Lily Zhang, who will go in for a try. Dartmouth leads Quinnipiac 5-0. Less than 10 minutes later, Quinnipiac's number 32, Iona Meyer, is going to toss to freshman Emily Roscoff. She's going to run to the center of the end zone for her first try. Quinnipiac will lead 7-5 after the conversion. Just before halftime now, Quinnipiac's Maggie Miles is going to kick off. A favorable bounce is going to go right to Emily Roscoff. She's going to run all the way untouched to the end zone for her second of 3 tries on the day. Quinnipiac leads 14-5. Let's go to some second half action now. About 2.5 minutes left in the game. Quinnipiac's Margaret Wesolowski is going to toss it as she falls to the ground to number 12, Flora Poole, for a try. She'll take it to the house. Quinnipiac defeats the Dartmouth Big Green 43-5.
Yesterday, Hannah Colter caught up with one of the more interesting student athletes on campus, and that athlete used to play football.
So I'm here with Jen Fremd from the women's rugby team. Jen, thank you so much for sitting with me today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So I've done a lot of research on you, and you seem like you're really involved in a lot of things, and you have a lot of talents. How do you stay motivated to do so much?
Just keeping a set schedule, I guess, and accepting I'm not necessarily going to sleep much if I want to do a lot of things, yeah.
So you come from Washington. Where did you hear about Quinnipiac?
I was sitting in school one day, and my coach came up to me and was like, hey, we got this pack from a school looking to recruit you. And I was like, Quinnipiac, where the heck is that? And that's my first introduction to that, probably.
Were you homesick at all?
No, not at all.
Okay, so let's focus on your academics a little bit. So you have a really intriguing major, mechanical engineering. So what inspired you to do mechanical engineering? Do you have a goal?
Yeah, I want to get into designing prosthetics is the end goal, hopefully. I did robotics club in high school and always liked doing hands-on things. And then I was sitting in a dentist's office one day and reading an article about how bionics were advancing and such. And I thought about how if I had lost a limb of my own, I would be pretty devastated. Like, I do a lot of things, I do a lot of athletics and stuff. And so I want to be able to make a difference in people's lives that have to go through that, and then like help them advance and feel human again, basically.
So like you said, you do participate in a lot of athletics. In high school, you excelled in tennis with a 90-mile-per-hour serve, and football and wrestling. How has that helped you in rugby?
Work ethic, probably, yeah. So there's, the beauty of rugby is that it's an athletic sport, so the aspect that I did a lot of different things helped me out a lot. It's just a matter then of learning the style of the game, the technique of the game, the rules of the game, and then I was able to translate all of those different things into that one sport.
And I also found in my research that you play 7 instruments, and you're in the pep band.
In high school, I played trumpet, and then I didn't want to play trumpet anymore because I got lazy with it, and so I switched over to bass guitar, and then I realized I had to play trumpet again if I wanted to keep up with the band. So I went back to trumpet, so that time I had bass guitar and trumpet. Then freshman year of high school, we didn't have any tubas in the band, so my professor was like, hey, if anyone wants to pick up tubas, you can play tuba. I was like, I'll play tuba, why not? So I picked up the tuba there. Then in jazz band, we didn't have any trombones, so I switched from trumpet and jazz band down to trombone. And sort of like this cycle of what did we need at that time, it's like, I want to fill in that spot.
So like in sports and music, you can easily transition from one to another?
Yeah, most everything is just a matter of how much time you put into it. It's easy enough to transition to.
Professional rugby star Jared Hine actually just transitioned from playing rugby to football. So having transitioned yourself, was it an easy transition?
I'd say so, yeah. I can imagine going from rugby to football would be a lot easier than football to rugby because it's a lot more stop and go in football compared to rugby. So it's sort of like a nicer transition, I guess would be a way of putting that.
Who would you say is your biggest role model, whether it be in sports or musically or in general?
Teddy Roosevelt, definitely.
How come?
He was a sickly asthmatic child when he was young, and he built himself into the sort of like brusque bully kind of guy that he became. I sort of see him as the kind of guy that puts in the effort to get where he wants to get, and so I respect that because that's sort of the mentality I like to take up. It's not a matter of things being impossible to do or you're not naturally inclined for, it's a matter of how hard you're willing to work to get there.
Right, and you're certainly making a name for yourself here at Quinnipiac. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me. It was really nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure, thank you.
Thank you.
This weekend, MJ, Quinnipiac field hockey hosted the Maine Black Bears out on the QU turf field. Let's check that highlight out. Back in 2013 in the fall, the Maine Black Bears defeated Quinnipiac 5-2. Would the result be different? Let's take a look. Here in the first half, Maine's going to jump on the board first. Ella Moskey right past the all-MAC first-team goaltender Megan Conboy there. Maine up 1-0. Quinnipiac threatening, though. Oh, couldn't get onto that one. In the corner, Angie King to Megan McCullough. What happened, MJ? Balls are just flying past sticks here. Quinnipiac, though, eventually will be able to capitalize. Megan McCullough, the pride of Plymouth Whitemarsh, Pennsylvania, with the goal. On to the second half, 1-1. Maine, though, would score right there. Samantha Wag, another 2-1 deficit for a Bobcats team. I feel like I've been repeating myself. And then came the garbage. Quinnipiac with a trip there. Quinnipiac still down 2-1, looking to push the ball up the field for a goal. Right past the ball, hand-eye coordination, MJ, was a problem all day. Junior defenseman Angie King, though, was a highlight, broke 2 records. We'll get back to her in a moment. And then at the end of the game, Maine puts on a 3rd and a 4th goal. The Black Bears go on the win 4-1. John Alva's happy, but Becca Maine is not.
Last year we led the nation, and we had the NCAA statistical leader in defensive saves, and Angie was that person. So I think to follow up last year with what she's doing already this year, I think she's almost on par to beat her last year by 3 to 4 times what she did. So pretty excited about that. I used to say I don't want to lead the nation in that because I think that shows too many shots, but when I watch the practice that Angie puts in and the time that she puts into it, she deserves every piece of it.
Q30 welcomes field hockey analyst Justin Cloutier to Sports Paws. Justin, thank you for joining us tonight.
No problem. Thank you, MJ.
Clu, it's always a pleasure.
Thanks, Morey.
Despite the team's 1-6 record, Megan Conboy is playing well. Why do you think she's playing so great?
Well, I mean, it really comes down to Megan Conaboy has just absolutely been standing on her head for this team. She looks like she goes into that 2-pad stack all the time, looking like Martin Brodeur out there. Her stats don't exactly reflect it, as she posts a .698 save percentage, but she does have the second lowest goals against average in the MAC. So look for her to be a player in the second half of this season.
Klutz, let's turn a little bit to the offense now. Michelle Federico, a sophomore, was a high school All-American, as we know, from the state of Connecticut. But last year, she was put on the defensive line. Now she's on the offensive line. One of the first weeks in the season, she's the MAC Offensive Player of the Week. What's her play been like?
Well, Federico is really one of those players that is extremely physically fit. She's always running from east to west or north to south. So she's really going up and down. Coach Becca Main says she's really not that natural goal scorer. As you said, she's moving from a midfield, a defensive position to a forward. But I mean, look at her stats this season. She's got 2 goals, 3 assists, leads the team in points and goals. And I mean, she's no Danielle Allen as of right now, but she's got the potential to be one of the best players in this field hockey team's history.
Justin, like Morey said, we'll come back to Angie King. What are your thoughts on her record-breaking weekend?
It's pretty simple, gentlemen. We're all witnesses to possibly the greatest defensive player in Quinnipiac Bobcats field hockey history. She broke 2 records this weekend, like you guys said, the single-season defensive saves record and the career saves record. And the Bobcats are only 7 games into this 18-game season. She's just going to keep looking to add on to that career saves record, as they're going to need her going in the MAC schedule.
So, Klutz, Quinnipiac is 1-6. Yes, they have played top-ranked UConn. They've played a top 20 opponent in Michigan State. Now, is that the sole reason why Quinnipiac's 1-6, because of their tough out-of-conference schedule, or is it something else?
Well, it really comes down to that. I do 100% believe in that fact that they are playing extremely tough teams. I mean, they played the number 2 team in the nation, the number 10 team in the nation according to the RPI ratings. But other than that, Coach Becca Main really said it. It really comes down to they're not having those forwards, those natural goal scorers that they've had in these past couple years, and Danielle Allen especially. But once they get into the MAC conference record, expect this team to turn it around.
So do you think they will turn it around?
Oh, absolutely. How could they not turn it around this season? I mean, going into the MAC schedule, there's only 1 team that has a winning record, and that's Rider. And their out-of-conference schedule really hasn't impressed me too much, so I'm thinking this team turns it around and possibly even wins the MAC.
Well, Rider was the team that defeated Quinnipiac in the semifinals last year. Justin Cloutier, thanks for always coming on Sports Paws to talk a little field hockey.
Thanks, Morey. Thanks, MJ.
Coming up next, Quinnipiac women's hockey was selected very close to the top of the ECAC preseason coaches poll. Where? Find out next.
And MJ, later we got all the fans' favorite part of the show. We got the top 5 plays in Quinnipiac athletics. Don't go anywhere.
Laser Medica Derma Centers is a new philosophy in skincare for all ages. We are dedicated to offering the most technologically advanced and least invasive skincare treatments. Show your Q card and receive 20% off any procedure. We also provide microdermabrasion and Botox treatments, all performed in a relaxing spa environment. We are conveniently located at 52 Washington Avenue in North Haven, just down the street from Quinnipiac's North Haven campus. Call to schedule a free consultation and find out how Laser Medica can give you smooth, sexy skin all year long.
Welcome to A Sheer Sensation, North Haven's premier cosmetology service, located at 140 Washington Avenue, minutes from Hamden. We offer an array of services from basic cuts and colors to lash extensions and formaldehyde-free keratin treatments. We also provide hair chalk and styling for men. When you spend $60, your Q card will get you 10% off. Call us at 203-239-6477 to make your next appointment at A Sheer Sensation.
We are your source for entertainment news.
Thanks for sticking with us here on Sports Paws. Let's jump into news for the women's ice hockey squad. The Quinnipiac women's ice hockey team was selected 3rd in the ECAC preseason coaches poll, as well as 7th in the first USCHO.com poll. The Bobcats will return their top 3 goal scorers from last season, as well as all 7 defensemen. The Bobcats lose all ECAC second-team goaltender Chelsea Layden to graduation, but junior Sydney Rossman will step right in to fill her shoes. The Bobcats look to improve upon last year's historic season and once again clinch an NCAA tournament berth. The Harvard Crimson locked up the top spot, while the Clarkson Golden Knights received a second-place nod. Over the weekend, Q30's own Matt Corso recapped the past few days for 6 fall sports teams.
It has been an action-packed weekend for Quinnipiac athletics. The women's golf team participated in the Navy Chesapeake Bay Invitational. Freshmen Luciana Tobia and Caitlin Blindenberg starred in their first collegiate tournament, both placed in the top 20 overall. Tobia finished in 7th with a 2-round total of 152. The 4th best 36-hole score in school history. The men's cross-country team finished 4th out of 10 teams at the Ryder Invitational. Junior Dylan Fearon led the way for the Bobcats with a 7th-place finish out of 137 competitors. The team is back in action on October 2nd in Lehigh University's Paul Short Invitational. The women's cross-country team captured the gold at the Ryder Invitational. 3 Bobcats placed in the top 10 overall, while 7 finished in the top 25. Junior Neve Ash finished 4th overall and 1st on the team. Saturday was the 12th consecutive event Ash finished as the top Bobcat. The team has recorded a first-place finish in 11 straight seasons. The men's tennis team competed at the Connecticut State Championships. Highlighting the team's success was doubles tandem Luke Rozer and Freddie Zaretsky, who reached the Flight B finals. William van Wiezen from the Netherlands earned a spot in the Flight B singles finals. The women's tennis team hosted the Quinnipiac Invitational. Freshman Proy Fan Loa Paisan led the team with 3 victories. Loa Paisan and her doubles partner, Rachel Horton, advanced to the Flight A doubles final. Quinnipiac volleyball began MAC play this weekend in Buffalo, New York. The Bobcats lost 3-1 to Canisius and 3-0 against Niagara. The Bobcats face St. Francis of Brooklyn at home on Wednesday. Until next time, I'm Matt Corso, Q30 Sports.
Well, it's the best time of the show. We got the top 5 plays. Let's check them out. I'll take a page out of Dylan Fearon's book. MJ, I got the odds. You got the evens. We'll go to number 5. It's going to be Rugby against Dartmouth, like we said on Saturday. Quinnipiac with a dominating 43-5 victory. But here it's Maggie Miles with the extra gear down the left sideline. She put a little turbo boost on that one. Finishes with the assist on the play.
Morey, number 4, women's soccer versus Albany. Albany's number 10, Kiana Ruger, is going to score on Natalia Grazi, assisted by Vivian Vega. She scored 2 goals in the 4-1 rout of Quinnipiac.
Those purple jerseys give me nightmares. On to Yale. Rashawn Dolly with a slip and slide. Threads the needle through Toby Esch and Tristan Henry off the side post. Yale went on to win that 3-2.
Number 2, Rugby versus Dartmouth. A favorable bounce, and Emily Roscoff is off to the races. She could go all the way. That is a try.
Oh, I thought you were going to say touchdown.
Roscoff finished with 3 tries in the 43-5 victory.
And for number 1 at Yale, Rashawn Dolly bicycle kick, not really successful, but a nice volley off the short bounce for Scheiderman, the blue and the gold, as I said, 3-2 defeat. Well, MJ, there we got it.
That does it for another episode of Sports Paws, Morey. Another week closer until we reach the bank.
That's right. Closer to the bank, closer to winter sports, and closer to Bobcat Madness. Check out all of our information at www.q30television.com.
Don't forget, follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Q30 Sports. For all of the producers, our technical staff, and my partner, Morey Hershgordon, I'm MJ Baird. See you next time on Sports Paws.